What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Talking in Bits, where we walk you through Bitcoin bit by bit so we can provide you with the information you need to succeed and persist. Back where episode 42 got Ben in the house.
What's going on, bro?
We missed a little bit there, man.
A little bit.
But we're back to let these other podcasters know that we're not playing around, man. We were talking about that before this started. Huh?
This ain't a game?
No. I want you guys to know that I'm paying attention. I think y'all shows were trash before. I see y'all trying to catch up. That's fantastic. But yeah, we're back for episode 42, and we're going to keep putting the pressure on.
Yeah, man.
We just want to make this fun. We want to make it competitive.
Yeah.
We're not trying to hate on y'all, sort of.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, man. So we're back at it. You know, holidays, people should expect that. Schedules are crazy. People spending time with their families, which is what we should all be doing first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we haven't been as consistent as we wanted to, but we're going to get back at it.
Yeah, man.
And we got a lot to cover. Some things in this episode may be maybe a few weeks back, but I wanted to talk to you about it. Some things a lot newer as of a few hours ago, but we're just going to go, as we usually do, on a tangent and talk about stuff. Compass mining, we got something for you. I think Compass
we got
is
the
time.
belt for you, bro.
The argument is that this is free marketing for Compass. Let's say that.
Yeah.
But it's not like one of those, like, you get bad clout and they pay me on the side. Like, nah, this is the problem.
Yeah.
A problem
we're going to talk about it.
We'll talk about it. It's only right to start with Bitcoin City.
Yeah.
You know, I know a few months ago, people really don't say it in Bitcoin as often, but this isn't priced in. I haven't heard that in a while.
Mm-hmm.
How could anybody ever price this? How could anybody ever price these nation states coming through and actually building Bitcoin cities?
What do you think Wakanda was? Come on, man. Like,
fake? But yeah,
built
I guess
on
that's the
Bitcoin.
concept.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the idea. Wakanda wasn't priced in, bro.
You sure it's not that ultrasound money is built on?
No, man.
Yeah, no, that's a good example. Zeros across the board. I don't know the exact things. I can pull it up here, but it's like zero taxes.
Yeah. I mean,
basically heaven.
Outside of that, they're saying that they took profit and they're building new schools. They're building new infrastructure.
Yeah, sure. I got the numbers here. Zero income tax, zero capital gains tax, zero property tax, zero payroll tax, zero municipal taxes, and 0% CO2 emission.
There's a saying that says, like, put yourself in between, like, big money.
Yep.
And you'll, like, you become the rails. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you get big Bitcoiners in your city and, you know, like, they're going to empower the city, they're going to empower the space, they're going to grow and attract your city. And so, like, if it's going to be a Bitcoin town, that's a way for the president of El Salvador to get ahead of all this and stack Bitcoin.
Yeah. It seems impressive.
It's...
I guess we all come from a world where it's like, you got to see it in action. Right?
Yeah.
It's very easy to stand up there. This is obviously a young leader, right? Right, their president, right? So, like, we live in a world where young people understand clout, and the people understand how to use this as tools.
Mm-hmm.
I am with the optimistic side of it, where you're right. You know, if you're a Bitcoin, let's say, developer, and you started a business, well, goddamn right, I don't want zero capital gains tax or property tax or payroll tax. Yeah, absolutely. And you're enticing me to come here. Not to mention the coolness of a city where you walk around with your wallets, right? And you just scan stuff left and right, or whatever. But devil's advocate. What's the downside of this?
So someone posted that with a picture.
Oh, I'm glad, because I haven't heard a downside. What's the downside of this?
I mean, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it a trap?
It's a beta, is what I would say.
No, it's definitely a beta. But like, is it malicious behind the scenes? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it a FBI kind of CIA thing going on in El Salvador where they're literally trying to attract Bitcoiners? Like, people are kind of throwing that narrative.
That's a good one. I didn't know.
That's what I've seen on Twitter. And then another response was like
what do you call it? Like spooks? Like
a honeypot, basically.
Yeah.
Dudes like, they were like, yo, look at, okay, here's Bitcoin City and it's right next to a volcano. Is it a honeypot?
That's
you know
interesting.
What I mean? Like,
damn, see, I thought I was dark when I was thinking. That's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
I just don't know enough about, like, I know taxation is theft, so don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, like, I just don't know enough about how a city or whatever can function without some type of tax system. And maybe that's brainwashed by me. Maybe
you're growing the revenue in the economy in your city and state. or you're in your city.
Right, but you're more dependent on people just doing the right thing. Is that safe to say? Like, for example, like if I do, all right, maybe I don't do like we're in Massachusetts. Maybe I don't do 10%, but maybe I do like a 3%. But I know that those 3% at least goes back to building new infrastructure, building new whatever, right? Like, if it's zeros across the board, do I got to volunteer to set up a school?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
That I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, what pays for the infrastructure? I don't know.
Yeah, right. And so I'm not saying that it needs to be, 10%, 15%, 5% even. I don't even think. But to me, is that now it's like, I've seen a lot of infographics like this one right here that are like built to get me to be like, ooh, right? Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's the response on Twitter, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing at least.
Okay, that's good because I've been just seeing a lot of like, this is where we're moving now.
My Twitter's pretty balanced, man.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
You do a good job of organizing because I just like, I see this stuff and it's exciting, right? And then it's not priced in, right? Because when we were talking about it's priced in, we were talking about like Lightning and like apps and certain things. Now we're talking about like, who's next? Like we're talking about like these things of
people don't get it. The internet is being rolled out.
Yeah,
one city at a time.
I want to stop comparing it to that, but I understand what you're saying with that.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's the internet.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
It's just a good example.
That's the closest thing we have to it.
I actually have another note here of something that being early, right? Like stuff not being priced in or whatever. Let me see if I find that. Well, basically, is it this one? It was one of those numbers things where it's like, look, like I'm probably butchering these numbers, but it was somewhere along the lines of like, 7.8 billion people, right? 7.7 billion of them have no idea what this is. Congratulations, you're part of like the 6% of people, right? So it's like when I see stuff that's not priced in, like nation states and things like this or whatever, it's like, oh boy, we really have no idea. We really have no idea.
Month by month, it gets like, it changes the way you see everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because it's a mix of things. I think it's just what we know it to be, right? Yeah. And what we, like it keeps its promise every day. But I also think the competition, which is, as we discussed, the fiat dollar, it's doing a really fantastic job of just falling on their face. Like, it's not even impressive to watch.
Yeah.
Like, what a competition we have here between currencies.
It's bad, bro.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's embarrassing. So I think it's that too. Right, because the resistant people on Bitcoin, like the ones that would traditionally be like, blah, 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 this, I put it in ETFs and I put it in that stuff. That person really had an argument until the point of what the dollar's been doing lately. And then it's just like, just watch the news.
Books we've read a few years ago about 401ks and about the S&P 500 doing 15% a year.
Yeah, it's a shame.
You're facing inflation and I don't think you're winning. I think every American is negative if they're just getting 15, 20% of the market. And so, it's crazy, man.
It's crazy. So you go to the hard money, you go to that.
Yeah, you go to real estate.
Back to the El Salvador thing. I love that they're doing that. But listen, the TikTok generation, this young generation that just knows how to say certain things to just get mobs, right? And it's not hard in Bitcoin when you do the new stuff, right? And I've also heard a lot of articles and I've read a lot of things that I actually didn't know, but where he's been talking about other coins and other things, right? So it's like, if I'm him, how do I get the most clout, the most bang for my buck? Because remember, in politics, clout is everything. I'm going to attach myself to this new fancy thing that's already doing it on its own. Mm-hmm. And then Bitcoin doesn't care. It doesn't slow down. It doesn't do whatever. But boy, is it easy for a politician to leverage. And I think we're going to see that more at home. We've already seen a little bit of it.
Oh, yeah, we are.
But we're going to see more of it. Because a lot of people are thinking Bitcoin City is the example, but a lot of politicians are just watching how he's doing it.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, this is easy.
Yep.
Like, I just got to say that I'm down for this. And whether I am, we hope as Bitcoiners that they really are down. And if they haven't realized, Bitcoin will find a way to flush him out. Max Kaiser, right? Poison, right? But I sure hope that he's not giving the blueprint for how to use Bitcoin as clout, right?
Yeah, man.
Like Pomp 10.0.
Yeah.
And that's scary. But hey, zeros across the board. I already seen a bunch of people saying they're about to sell everything and just go down there. I don't know if I'm there yet, but congratulations to El Salvador.
One person was like, there's no Second Amendment there. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean by that?
As in like, in terms of weapons.
But what does that have to do with the taxes that they can't?
No, just like he wouldn't live there if he can be strapped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
something
for
like that.
Oh, yeah. No, as a personal level, I thought you were saying like, this is why zeros across the board is bad, which actually, who pays for the police?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or whatever they call them down there. The Guardia, I'm assuming.
I don't know, bro.
Right? Like, And then one would say that like, oh, when Bitcoiners are all wealthy, they'll be down to like do the Citadel thing. And that's cool. I just have to see it play out.
I'm cool with the Citadel community. Like,
I'm cool with this being a beta test, but anybody thinking that this is more than a beta is absolutely mistaken. And shit like this is how you get wrecked in life. Never mind wrecked in Bitcoin. You might get wrecked in life when you go down there and, like you said, you have no way of protecting yourself and your family. You're in this. So
we talked about it on the last episode.
We understand taxation and stuff.
If I'm in El Salvador I see Jason Williams.
Yep. What about it?
And like if I have the internet and I know who he is, you know what I mean? Like,
like if he were a bad actor, you mean?
Yeah, like who would you want to rob? You know what I mean?
Yeah. See,
like the wealthiest person.
You're right. I don't know. And they're probably balling out, but I don't see how this works besides Citadel style and can Citadel scale?
Yeah.
Yeah, parts of history we have, but I don't know enough about it. That's all I can say. But boy, does this looks like a nice T-Mobile Verizon commercial where they're saying that they're the best ever.
Yeah.
I like aiming big and then trying to do your best there. And we've talked about this in the show. I still don't necessarily trust this Bukel guy. I don't.
Yeah, don't trust verify.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and kudos to him. But yeah, right. I'm hard against those dudes that just seem way too good to be true.
Yeah.
Because even the smartest people in the space will confess to you that they didn't get it the first time nor the second, right? Like it was a continuous thing. My man here seemed to have figured it out like immediately after a few talks with Jack Mallers.
Yeah.
Jack Mallers' orange pulling ability must be fantastic, but we're talking about like a lot of people here that with just conversations with one dude, now this guy seems to have gotten it. Can that happen? Sure. We like to verify. I like to see this in action. Did it say? Did it say when this is going to happen?
I don't know. It might.
And kudos for them to like at least, even if they fail in this beta, being able to show other places where the dollar is strangling the crap out of the people, that there is some type of change. There is some type of way to, maybe build off of their model and just do it better than they did. But who knows? Maybe they're right, and maybe they're going to be the next the Dubai, right? Like who the hell knows? I would like to see it, but damn it, something about zeros across the board seems weird to me. Who pays for the police? Oh, we don't need police. It's a Citadel, so we just have the everyday people. Okay, so how do you safeguard against
anything?
Shadiness from those people, and like how do you keep the incentives lined up, and who pays for the incentives? Because people just want to be paid.
Yeah.
Are you just gonna tell them that you're gonna give them Bitcoin? Okay, I need more. At least with some type of revenue coming back in. I've always said this. Taxation is theft, but I'm cool with paying for new sidewalks, bro. I just don't know what's going there.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
But I'm cool with paying for the basketball courts and getting a new paint job.
Yeah.
Like, that's all good. The problem is that we don't know if it actually goes there. So if they could build some type of system where it's like, look, you come here, Bitcoin City.
Something on a blockchain that's accountable.
3%, right? These contracts, these smart contracts only release Bitcoin when the basketball court gets painted. Whatever. That's
really on a Bitcoin standard.
That to me is more enticing
than
just saying, hey, I'm going to stand there and put zeros across the board.
Right.
Most of these people don't even understand what taxes are. I mean, most rich people evade taxes for so long that if they don't have a CPA around them, they don't even know how to do their own taxes. So now we're going to sit here and say that, it's zeros across the board. I don't know. I hope it works out. Optimistic. Jose says that. But if I were to overanalyze this, I'm a little bit worried about zeros across the board.
I'd take a trip there.
Sure. They're not trying to entice you to take a trip, though. They're trying to get you to like start a business payroll tax to zero.
Yeah.
Like they want you to start a business and work it there. And I do think that in the Bitcoin standard world, more people would volunteer to build schools and stuff. But damn, when you put power in people's hands, man.
Yo,
like imagine
we could get an apartment and then get an LLC there, theoretically.
For what? To avoid taxes and all that stuff?
To LLC out there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
This is not tax advice. That's actually probably illegal.
I'm just thinking like, how are people going to leverage that? Because right now, like people will go to Puerto Rico, they'll get a Puerto Rico address,
True.
They'll LLC, and then they'll have a lesser capital gains tax.
But you see, the problem here is that now you're enticing me to do that. But if I'm not actually a part of this community, I'm not building a school there.
Yeah.
Like I live in the U.S. Like
right.
I don't see that the kids are struggling, right? So now you just incentivize schemers. If you really think about it. And a lot of the big dogs, and this is not across the board, but the majority of those businesses that do the Puerto Rico thing is for things like that. It's to just, but you've gone to Puerto Rico, I've gone to Puerto Rico. Beautiful because of its rusticness, if that's even a word, but not beautiful because people are putting money in it, right? It's just a beautiful place.
Right.
But all those dudes that have apartments that are doing that are basically just killing it and then not giving anything back. So I hope that you actually do live in El Salvador, right, and start a business there.
Right.
Maybe a lot of your employees can be of the people, right, from the area, and you can get all these benefits across the board. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about foreign policies like this and ditching the dollar and what the ramifications of that is, and does that mean that the businesses that maybe we know, I hate to say it, but like the Walmarts of the world can't serve the people there, or I don't know what that means, because they would have to leave if they're not compliant.
Yeah.
So if you make this a zeros across the board, and let's say McDonald's says, well, like, we can't comply with that, then now those people are losing that service. Bad example, because we could all lose McDonald's.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Like, what about the staple holes that are like, oh, no, this is my connection to the States. Anyways, I don't want to spend too much time on that. I think we already did do that justice. That's an interesting project that I hope works out. But sometimes when things are too good to be true, they usually are.
Yeah.
That's just a real thing.
It's good to be cautious.
Yes, for sure. Especially with a lot of, I don't know the exact number, let's just say 3 million people's lives.
Yeah.
You're promising them this. This is related but not related, back to the compass thing. Deliver the promise.
Yeah, I mean, we're
communicate on it.
We're talking about this, and I'm thinking about the Netflix episode with Ja Rule.
About what? The fire thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, deliver.
Like good, look at what good marketing does.
Yeah. Although he tiptoed out, right? He didn't go to court. The other dude did.
Yeah. He was the compliance officer.
Who Ja Rule was?
No. The other dude.
The other dude was for sure the compliance officer. My man went to jail, but that dude was lying a lot. He probably lied to Ja Rule. You see what I'm saying? Like,
you have to.
Right. Like he was like, he probably built it up, and Ja was like, oh, this is a no-brainer.
He probably told him half, and then or like a third, and then overhyped everything else.
He
seems like it, but he's so believable that he gets you.
It seems so simple, but so far for some, it's deliver on the promise, right? Yeah. Like a little bit slightly different, but the whole Astroworld Travis Scott thing, like, listen, you have to deliver on the promise that if I buy a ticket here, I'm safe, right? Not to the safe of like, a lot of people being there, but like to a certain extent, I have to be able to go back home after your show.
Bro, that stuff's a ritual, fam. There's a lot of talk, bro.
Sure.
Yo, I think it was 8 kids died, bro.
Yeah. Listen, I think forever there's going to be a lot of secrets that have been kept from that day. Yeah. Sure. It could be. I don't know. That's what Burning Man is, right? All that stuff.
Yeah.
But
8 flames.
What does that mean?
No, it was just like 8, like the fire that would shoot up, there was 8 flames.
Is that
like
was
the first thing that struck me when I saw the photo. It was like, oh, like 8 things of fire. And then they were like, 8 people dead.
Is that like a routine? Is 8 like a routine thing? Maybe I'm not into my cult stuff.
So numerology is a big thing to them.
Okay.
And
pattern matching.
Yeah, like dates. Like if you look at certain dates, there's a lot of like famous celebrities that die on like dates that are just like 1/21/21.
Yeah.
At 8/21.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like weird stuff like that.
Yeah, I've heard some of that stuff too. I don't know if you've ever heard the Kennedy and Lincoln correlations, but it's the same thing. There's like an extremely long list of like, what? Like, how is this happening?
Bro, when I read that, it was like, that's odd.
But like, and this is what we like to play, we like to like experience things from both sides, but like, how much of that is that in retrospect with all this data, you can make correlations?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what data analysts do now. They just get a bunch of data and make up a story for the data that they're replicating. So like, basically, there's probably like not just Lincoln and Kennedy. There's probably like 15 other great people that had that same pattern.
Right.
But for the story I'm telling, we want to make it these 2 guys who got assassinated and both got their head blown off. Right? Like this. So like, I like that stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I put a lot of salt behind that. Like I'm like, data analysts are really good at sports center guys. Like you have these like stats of like, oh, so now I know how many people were in the building when Tom Brady scored touchdown, whatever.
Yeah. Right.
It's like, that's their job. But that shit is interesting.
Yeah.
That shit is interesting. And pattern matching is kind of weird. I don't know, but I didn't want to go there with the Astroworld. But just keep your promise.
Yeah.
Keep your promise. If you make a promise, it doesn't mean that you're not allowed to like slip up on it. But like how you recover from that slip up and like re-verify a new promise or an immediate resolution, that's very important for a lot of these companies, especially these Bitcoin companies, because as we discussed a little while ago, Bitcoin is so damn early that these companies are also trying to figure things out. I'm a sympathetic person, or I would like to think so, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're making an exchange.
What's the extent?
The extent is just the incentives when you shake hands. Yeah. Right? Like to me, it's like expectations is everything, right? Like from the very beginning, you're supposed to let me know what it is, right? Right? But then also if you slip up on that ownership, right? Like, yeah, we messed up as a company, whatever it may be.
Accountability.
We're gonna go to Compass, aren't we?
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. No, like, so.
That's what I'm getting at.
I love our listeners, man, but they're gonna go through this Compass thing all over again. Listen, y'all. Compass finally got my miners online. Shout out to Compass. You guys do got something.
No longer in the hot seat for that.
You guys got you. Yeah, you have a unique proposition as things stand right now. Another good example is CoinKite. Yep. You have a very good position where you stand right now. But constantly breaking the promise just makes the people that are watching, the competitors that are watching, know how to do it better. And then they're going to come and eat your food.
Yeah.
That's business 101. Yeah. We were talking about it in a different way before, but
yeah, we were talking about it earlier, and as you're talking, I'm seeing the Narcos scenes that I'm watching in Mexico, season 3. I'm
probably the only person on earth that hasn't finished Narcos. I've watched it.
It's cool, and just that's competition. They're thinking, how can we run different routes? Can we use the shrimp boat? Can we use the airplane? What about this? What about that? Who can we partner with? That's business 101, and like these dudes are messing up repeatedly.
Yeah. So just to context, I was part of the South Carolina delays.
Yeah, that took 3 months.
Yeah, we were supposed to go live in August. I bought in July, so 2 months for me wait. But the expectation was set for me. This is what they told me I was going to go live. I understand that, right? So they slipped up. Their facility was not approved. And listen, man, I'm sympathetic. I get it. Like, if you're going to put 5,000 miners into place and then like a week before they say, nah, fam, you gotta run to get 5,000 rack space with electricity and all this stuff. I got it.
Yeah.
So they did a round of like credits and they told people October, I believe it was 15th was the cutoff or whatever. Come 1 week before October, this is where the communication is bad. You now say that it's not going to be that. It's going to be November. Yeah. And a lot of people are getting pushed back. Like, I was one of the early November guys. There's a lot of people still waiting for their machines.
November 28th.
Yeah, or 29th. December, leaking into December, right? Yeah. They didn't give you a say on facility. They didn't give you a say on many numerous things. I will give them credit for this. They did give you the option to go on earlier if you were willing to swap your machine for an equivalent Antminer, right? So if you had 84 terahashes, they'll get you at least something that has 84 terahashes.
Yeah.
I was offered that. I took it. I'm a little bit, I would have had to wait a week difference, basically is what I'm saying. I'm a little bit upset that I traded my What's Miner for it, but in retrospect, it actually did a lot of good things for me. It gave me extra hashing because it was actually hashing more than the What's Miner. It allowed me to get a spot in Manitoba, which is hydro-powered.
Nice.
So now I'm hydro-powered back. Cool. And both of my What's Miners were going to be in one central point of failure. Facility goes down, all my hashing goes down. Now I'm dispersed. I have some at home, have some up there, have some somewhere else.
Yeah.
So these options were presented and they worked out. How many people though think like I do though?
Not many. Yeah.
I had to come to these connection points to be satisfied with your constant reminder of how you can break promises, which means that I had to settle. You did nothing for me. I got online. I had to swap one of my miners. My second one took another week after that to come online. I'm online. Shout out to them for that. They give you this spiel about F2 pool percentage discount. How do you know? You've been with them for a while. Do you know that percentage is being applied?
I couldn't tell you.
No idea. Nobody can. It's a very mystical thing. You got to take their word on it. It's how it goes.
No, like the same way we critique Strike for not showing us the Bitcoin fees.
Sure.
Like Compass needs to show that.
Everybody needs to show this shit. Yeah. This is the whole thing we're leaning on is transparency here. You guys are bending that rule. And I don't mean give away your IP.
Yeah. Right? No, but just show us the fees.
Show us something. Yeah. Right? Be more transparent. Instead, kick rocks, all this other stuff. So miners are online or whatever. I still see people that are asked out. So they released a second round of credits, right? I got this email 1 day after my What's Miner went online. My second miner went online.
Yeah.
So naturally, I was like, does this apply to me? The language is very vague. Surprise! The language is very vague. This has been the trend, right? Everything that I've gotten from them from the very first purchase to the most recent emails is very vague language, which, entices me to think, what's wrong? Why are you guys trying to be so evasive? I reach out, hey man, my machine just went on. Does that mean that I missed out this threshold?
Yeah.
Person doesn't answer me for a day, doesn't answer me for 2 days. Mind you, this isn't like an email thing, which should be answered. Client solutions, right? But the second part of that is this is Discord. This is a DM.
Right.
You're getting notified. You can see your shit lit up.
Right.
Then when they come back, they tell me they don't know. Oh, that's not looking too good, but I'm looking into this. What I told you before the show when we started and I started ranting about this is it only took me a few exchanges with a few of their customer service guys to realize the trick here. You only come back to me directly when you have good news. But when it's bad news, you drag your feet and hope that I figure it out. Hope that I self-soothe.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I could do that. I'm frustrated. I'm not going to be frustrated for a week, though.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Cool. Why is it getting to this point?
Yeah.
The agreement in the beginning is I give you a shitload of cash.
Yep.
Right? Because we know mining is a low time preference thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving a lot of cash up front that we can stack sats with to the trust, to this promise. Man, do you guys not know how to rebound from a promise?
Yeah.
And you continue to like make new. I even heard Whit on McCormick say, we're not making any more promises. No shit.
Yeah.
Because you guys can't do so.
Yeah.
But correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm on Twitter just like you're on Twitter, just like all our listeners are on Twitter. Go over to the compass and let me know if they look like they're slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know if they look like they're, and this is not to say you should crash your business because you're having one issue. I'm just saying is if you can't take care of that issue, why are you over here telling people to buy more miners? Buy more miners. Let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it going. Woo for the plebs. That means your marketing company is way highly budgeted and your client solutions department is highly under budgeted.
Yeah.
Why is a pleb telling you this on a podcast? I'm giving you free business advice that I'm sure you guys already know. Execution is everything.
Mm-hmm. They have the money to hire more staff.
More miners, more space. I don't know the logistics of electrical work. I can sure that's probably a pain in the ass. And I'm sure state by state inspectors come in and make it a pain in the ass.
Facts.
I understand. And I'm not pretending to know all the ins and outs of the mining industry. That is not my point. My point is that when that other person that comes in,
we're already seeing him,
comes to eat your cookies.
Yeah.
When Jose has money and an opportunity to do something, guess where the hell Jose's going?
Yeah.
Yeah, even if that's brand new, I'm going to go try it because my experience with you is so lousy. Yeah. Client solutions is everything for a business. You know this. We talked about it. Support is everything for a business. And we're not expecting you, or I'm not expecting you to slip up. I'm just expecting you to say, hey, man, I fucked up. We're going to make that up. And it doesn't always mean money.
Right.
Because that doesn't mean shit to me. It's always the experience you take your clients through. It's a journey thing, man. From beginning to end, I should be happy.
Yeah.
And the only people that have been in these rooms, which I don't know why they're in there, battling out with dudes like me that I guess are disappointed, are the dudes that had incredible experiences with Compass and probably have like 9 or 10 machines going.
Yeah.
Of course you're happy, sir.
Yeah.
You're hashing with 10 machines.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you that I scrapped up together to get 2, and I'm not happy.
Yeah.
And that should be okay. I should be able to be unhappy, and somebody from that team should be able to console me to a certain level.
Yeah.
You don't got to bend over.
Yeah, like, hey, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Like the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. He has a situation, and then he says, you know what you do? You go directly to that customer. You say, you know what? Here's a pen and paper. What would you like me to do? If you were the manager, what would you do to rectify the situation?
That's dope, but that's a lot.
No, that is a lot.
Yeah. Listen,
but like,
I don't need them to bend over.
Yeah. No, that's just an example of like, you guys need to have a better client experience.
Check out this idea, and maybe it's not possible. Hey, we're Compass. We have plenty of machines and plenty of facilities. What we're going to do is we're going to turn on a machine on your behalf until yours, or equal terahash, until yours goes live. And then we'll make the swap in the background. You won't even notice this.
Yeah.
You're going to try to tell me, man, that they're going to do that? Maybe not the whole 3 months.
Of course.
But towards the end, when the deadlines were being snapped.
Yeah.
Yo, you can, as you know, you can easily point your miner anywhere else. So I don't need to own the miner, but boy, would it feel good if I was hashing.
Yeah. That's a super fair agreement. Like, give me 2 weeks or a month.
Give me 2 weeks of just constant hashing.
Yeah.
It could be half the hash.
Yeah.
You know, listen, we only got, these S9s or whatever, but at least so you can start accumulating some funds. And so that's easy, bro. Mm-hmm. That's, in my opinion.
If they did that, would you be a Compass super fan?
I'm not a super fan for many things.
I'm not a fan, though.
Well, listen, the reason I can't give Compass all the due is because it's easy to be good when you're the only one on the block.
Facts. No, the competition's there. I've told you, I'm following a few people who are building some cool stuff. They're sending out enclosures because they want them to live on your, in your backyard, in your basement, on your patio.
Yep.
And he wants them, like, once these designers start, like, making them decorative.
Yeah.
Like, check out this designer piece on my patio. It's actually a bench, but there's Bitcoin miners in it. Like,
it's gonna be incredible. Bro. It's gonna be incredible. And I don't see where in their situation, they wouldn't want to do this to stay ahead. It's just one of those things. But they have the machines, they have the spot. It's just a lot of confusion. They just started doing like facility updates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where was that from the get-go?
Yeah.
Right. Like I remember like people asking not specifically for an update. Well, they were asking for updates, but they were asking for like a spreadsheet of statuses, right? And then Wit was like, we're not going to give spreadsheets. That's just going to cause more problems or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So why wasn't the next idea then,
just
right?
Loading it in.
Was just like, hey, we're going to give you some updates on the facility.
Yeah.
Mad people started feeling better once those started coming out. They came out way too late.
Yeah.
You know, you've told me a few times it's scaling. I don't know shit about the mining industry like those people do. I got it. But I tell you what I do know how to do. Do the right thing for the client.
Yeah.
Like that's just one of those things that not only in my day-to-day I strive to do, but when I'm interacting with a company goes a long way. Listen, I you know, when I was losing all that weight, I found the supplement company. We don't need to plug them in or do any of that. Man, I've sold that to you a 1,000 times, and I didn't get anything for that.
Yeah.
What I got was a fantastic experience.
Right.
And I felt that my brother, my friend, everybody should have that same experience if they're looking for a supplement to work out with, right?
Yep.
Like that goes very far.
Yeah, man.
And Jim, well, I just plugged them. They never gave me a thing. Just a good experience.
Right.
They worked hard to give me a good experience. That's all Compass had to do. And if only one facility goes down, when I'm thinking about all the worst things that could happen to Compass, it's not just one.
Right.
Like I think that'll be an easy tiptoe, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You just disperse the hash somewhere else, right? Look what happened with one facility going down.
Yeah.
If it's a scaling issue, then I hope you guys are paying money in the right areas to do the right thing in order to fix these things. Because I'm sympathetic, but I'm not a sucker.
Yeah.
That's the thin line that y'all balancing.
So here's the deal. Like, Compass Mining is corporate-y.
Define that, please.
Like there are plebs who are doing the same thing.
Sure.
And they're going to do it for at a cheaper rate.
Better too.
And you're going to feel better because it's like your bro.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So like, why wouldn't I do this 10% cheaper with my homie who's going to give me a 1-to-1 luxury service? You know what I mean? So like, that's what I'm saying. They're like Walmart, but I can get it from, you know, my boy.
I'm going to tell you why. So, because they're starting to pull, not on the same level, but they're pulling fear mongering, right? Yeah. And what I mean by fear mongering is that like their messaging is built around, yo, you better get
scarcity.
On it quick.
Yeah.
You better get on this rack space quick. My man, why are you talking to me about rack space when I could literally fill the next room with rack space? I could fill my shed with rack. Like rack space is unlimited.
Yeah.
I got what you're saying. Rack space with you.
Yeah.
That's fine. Why are you not empowering me now to just say, no, it's not a scarcity thing. It's you should know about this thing, and that should be your messaging.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like a leader.
How do you sum that up? Like how would you market that in like 3 words? Experience Bitcoin. Boom.
This is what Unchained Capital uses, so I don't want to. But like in marketing terms, there's a lot of roles you can face. Like it's a wise person. Anyways, a navigator, right? It's like excuse me, it's like a Phil Jackson thing. You just know how to get people in a position to win, right? So like Compass should be leading people to find mining, not getting in the way of it. Right? Yeah. Like I'm not trying to tell you that you need to do mining. I want to show you that this is a way for you to start a business, for you to become sovereign, for you to, and then point you to the direction to do it. Because Bitcoin's already doing everything. Mining's already doing everything. Anybody who's ever gone through the difficulty adjustment in these things just walks away blown away.
Yeah.
Like how does this thing is working at all times, right? So your job should be giving you more of that honest, transparent, and then relying that the information that I'm giving you gets you there.
Yeah, I think if Swan Bitcoin did mining, that's what it would be.
I think a lot of companies that I can name now. Yeah. That's it. It's biased, I know. Yeah. That's what Unchained Capital did for multi-sig wallets.
Yeah.
Like you understand now the power of multi-sig, and Unchained Capital does not tell you how to use your multi-sig. They just educated you on why you want one, and then giving you really cool products to work around the multi-sig, right? Yeah. So the trust is in Bitcoin. It's not in the company.
Right.
Right. Right now, my trust, for many reasons, is in Compass. It has to be in Compass.
Yeah.
I have to even trust that my miner exists. Right. Never mind that it's the one I bought, that it's, the warranties, the way you're putting a lot of trust here, right? Your job should not be that. Your job should be is to enlighten me on why I need to do this. If you want to use Swan, that's a good example, but I still think Swan is using a shell in the front to then just empower the back, if that makes sense. Smart, actually, business. And I love Swan. Shout out to Swan. But Compass is now getting in the way, right? And then in their marketing and their messaging is hurry up or else.
Yeah.
That's not true. We know that there's always going to be electricity. We know that there's always going to be rack space, whether it's at home or not. Your job is to just get some miners in my hand for a fair quality. And if I need you, cool. But if I don't, get out of my way.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Unchained Capital. If I need your help with multi-sig, please, I'm going to reach out to you. If I don't, I'm going to go to Caravan. I'm going to recover this wallet on my own and do whatever the hell I want. I don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
Get in the way as far as you need me to. Get out of the way when I don't need you to. That's what Bitcoin companies have to do right now. Very early, got it. But because it's very early, it's a small pool. Because Compass is the only one on the block, boy, when you fall, it's a very noticeable.
Yeah.
It's like a giant fell.
Yeah.
It's
like, hey, join Twitter Spaces so we can talk about this.
I don't want to talk to you.
Every time I see that, I'm like, damn, they messed up again.
Yeah, because the problem is that the person who's talking to me is somebody who doesn't have the problem that most people experience, which is I just wiped out all my funds to give you everything I got. You can sit here in your whatever situation you are, condo, and be like, it's all good.
I got you soon, my man.
Maybe the first time.
Yeah.
Not the second, not the third, not the fourth. Yeah. It gets old after a while. And once again, I'm sympathetic, but I am not an idiot. Yeah. How many people would have processed this as like I did and felt this way about? Not too many.
Yeah.
Right? But they really don't like when somebody goes in there and kicks and screams. They'll kick you the fuck out. They kick me the hell out. Yeah. Mine's was legit. Like I actually got really fed up and like dropped the line that was like, yo, whoever in here wants to like talk about how legal action could be taken, great. And I can see where it's like, all right, you're bringing up lawyers against us. We're going to kick you out. Fine. That's fine. But I've seen other people get kicked out for less. Just for saying like, yo, I should get more credit or dough or whatever. How you guys are handling this and everything. But I'm going to tell you what, these guys that are coming in through the woodwork, I'm interested in what y'all doing.
Yeah.
It's not to say that I would never do business with Compass again, but it's to say is that
let's check out the competition.
Exactly. Yeah. You've given me an incentive to now not do business with you.
One of the early conversations we had when I was looking at GPUs, like, bro, I'm about to start mining Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I think you were still on some, like, how are you going to do that? Because we didn't discover pools. But that was my thought with you. I mean, we even talked about getting miners together.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I was an OG Bitcoiner, it'd be like, yeah, you want to start a farm? And I'll just pay you in sats to manage it, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of opportunities
1,000 rigs,
for sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
I was talking to a CPA out there as well, and just because he was in my presence, not because I reached for one. But yeah, it's like regular people like you, and I was even talking to my dad about this the other day. It's like, look, my dad may not be called an engineer by trade. My dad's an engineer, right? Like, dude, if you can put A and B and make not even C, D, right? Like, do some crazy stuff. You have this mind, right? And I'm like, look, at your age, dude, you should just be walking in and checking on these miners and just let them roll. Right, because you know how to handle electricity, you don't have to outsource
your dad
that.
Can run that, bro. Yeah,
yeah, like right. So this is like what my point was is that like this can really change somebody's life if they do it logistically smart enough and if they comply with some basic reporting structures or whatever.
The conversation that I'm having with a friend of mine is he has land and he's like, how can we set up miners? You can take down some trees, you can get a steam generator.
Yep,
it'll run water to give you power. And then that's going to power your rigs. And it's going to take like a 4-foot log.
Right.
And if someone like that did that on 2 acres.
Yeah.
Like you're your own brand at that point.
It just allows a lot of opportunities for everybody. But you want to know what doesn't allow that? When the shop blocker comes in and basically says, hey, hurry up because we're running out of rack space. Urgency shit, the scarcity thing. Listen, I get supply bottlenecks. I get ASIC shortages. I get all this stuff. But if you talk to a lot of the pleb dudes, and if you just see their Twitter.
Yeah.
My guys are racking up.
I saw a dude load a truck with 450 S19s.
Yeah, and I follow the Kaboom Racks Telegram, and those posts don't stop. They don't slow down, right? Like, so it's like, look, navigate me to the promised land, right? Yeah. Don't try to define the promised land for me. Because all this pleb shit that y'all talking about, contrary to belief, is basically not who you guys really are, and you're not about the pleb. And I don't want to dox this gentleman or whatever, but just imagine the price of 40 units. I spoke to somebody who basically said, listen, I went up to them. I told them I got cash money right now for 40 miners to go online right now. And Compass Mining basically treated him like he was a joke.
Yeah.
Could you have fulfilled 40? No. But I don't know about you. I would have found a way to get 40 miners online. Fair. Even if it's like, we'll do 5 at a time until we figure it out.
5 at your crib, 5 at my crib. Like, you got to do something.
My man said cash. This isn't even like a, hey, front me, right? Like a loan. So is it a scaling problem? They're just about to be a little over a year old. I think last August was when they launched. I'm a very sympathetic dude. But your expectations or your agreements need to be better. And please stop pulling out the contract whenever you guys can.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's called for because it's a legal thing. And other times you're just being obnoxious. I'm just asking a question that's pertaining to me. I don't know where it's going to end up, but if there's a lesson for Bitcoin companies there is you always do the right thing for the client. And the reason you do though is one of the reasons you do so is because Bitcoin is unforgiving. There's no mistakes in Bitcoin. If you don't navigate somebody and do it the right way, the repercussions are big.
Yeah.
Right? This isn't an industry where you could just repay the fiat. Right? That's the problem I had with BlockFi this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, y'all can have insurance up the yin yang. This is different. It's unforgiving territory. So if I trust you, I'm picking on them again.
Mm.
If I trust you, Compass, with time and energy, we talk about all the time, and I give it to you with the agreement that says, my time and energy is going to be stored for 2 months until we can use it. Got it. But Bitcoin's unforgiving. I missed that whole hash China thing. Like, that's an opportunity for you to not only keep your promise, but keep a client for life. Because if my experience was smooth and I was able to catch that,
from everything you've told me, they've missed
the easy shit.
The easy stuff. They can obviously communicate better. They can get ahead of things better. And in your situation, it won't cost them much to create a superfan. Like even if they said, hey, we're going to give you the extra credit, or even at the end, if they were like, you know what, you're off by a day, but we're going to give you that $1,000 credit. If they did that, you'd be in a much better spot with them. You know what I mean? Because that's like, you got to do something for the customer.
You got to.
And I don't know. I mean, you've been talking with them, and maybe they're not understanding like the frustration. Like maybe if they listen to this episode and they hear all this, like
maybe
it's like you got to have that feedback, man.
I think they hear it. I think they just want us to be overly sympathetic. Like I think it's like, I know, but things happen, y'all.
Yeah.
And then they use things like estimated, and we're working our butts off. And yeah, man, we all are.
Yeah.
Like,
Facts.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a thing. So, like, excuse me for putting you on the standard that you guys put yourselves in, because you guys say that you're the best.
Yeah.
You guys say that you're for the pleb. So, do I get the same priority that the dude that got 16 machines line does? Yeah. I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
Facts.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, it's going to be, I mean, it already is interesting to see the competition in the space.
I want to hear them say that they're running out of rack space when there's more competitors.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Because supposedly you're running out of rack space.
Right.
And you and I both know that there's buildings being built every fucking day. Here in town, we get one of those factory buildings, those washed up buildings. We could buy that building and load it up with miners. Who's going to say anything?
Right.
Who's going to say anything?
Right.
So, like, please, Compass, don't try to isolate the game by trying to be the first to use the word pleb, by trying to do, I was like even justifying why he doesn't do like altcoins anymore and stuff like that. Listen, you don't need us to tell you that. Your actions say everything. Yeah. So, like, if you were really a Bitcoin, like, legit company, you don't need to tell us that you're walking away from altcoins. You just need to behave like a Bitcoin company. The thing is that you're not. You're not. And that's okay. You're a business. Maybe somebody wants to mine Ethereum and you're their access to it. Fantastic. But don't front on that thing. And imagine, and it's because it's a Bitcoin, imagine Unchained Capital coming out and being like, hey, y'all, like, we're going to be working with this other stuff now, too.
Yeah.
If you're new, you might be like, oh, cool. They're expanding. But if you were the ones that came into the promise of like, nah, Bitcoin only, multi-sig solution, finance, you're going to be a little bit like, whoa. What the fuck happened? It's a thing. Bitcoin is unforgiving. Bitcoin is transparent. So should the businesses be. Does Jose have a multi-billion-dollar business? No.
Yeah.
But I like to think I'm in the process of helping create one.
Facts.
I might know a thing or two, Compass.
Yeah.
I might not. I may just be a loudmouth. That's up for y'all to decide. But I promise you, you keep treating people like shit, they won't come back.
That's 101.
101, damn it. Old school. Damn, we went on the Compass, man. I told y'all.
Yeah, it's all good.
I told y'all, man. Let's go through some stuff here. Speaking of mining, this was a few weeks ago. Jack Dorsey dropped one of those, what I call epic tweets now, because they're always like a storm of thread of things, like basically him thinking out loud. Square's considering building a Bitcoin mining system based on custom silicon and open source for individuals and businesses worldwide.
That's Compass's model. In a transparent, decentralized kind of vibe, right?
Compass,
that's what it sounds like.
Compass, they're going to come and eat your food, man. I'm telling you.
Bro.
I'm telling you, man.
I didn't catch that.
Right. So they're going to do that stuff. He has a thread here. Mining needs to be more distributed. That's a fact. The core job is a miner to securely settle transactions without the need of This is an awesome thread. I put it in the show notes. You guys can check out the link. This is October 15th. So this is, a little bit late. We missed it. But it's intriguing. It's intriguing because, one thing I give Jack, and I guess I'm a fan of his thinking, is that it's that his solutions are never Twitter oriented, right?
Yeah.
Or they're never like square oriented. They're always like, hey, I'm thinking out loud. What can we do here, right? And then empower other people to put it together, to build it, right? So all he needs to do is be able to, with his money, source custom silicon, right? And be able to push his pocket and his influence behind it. And that's it. He's going to open up a brand new gateway for maybe us to get cheaper mining equipment, for us to maybe open source software, meaning that like we're dependent on the pool. If there's open source mining software for nodes that I can empower my node to get to where Ben's node and make our own little mesh network and these things, we start thinking about other things while the other people are telling you that you're running out of rack space. Mining is very early. I don't see a world where mining doesn't exist. We always need the ledger, and the ledger always needs to be secured. So why are we not thinking more like this? And why are we in the current state where we're waiting 2 or 3 months to get online for whatever reason they want to think about? Because they can't get their numbers right, because they don't have enough power, whatever. I talk to these pleb miners. I don't know if you do. They're not slowing down.
No.
They hot.
I'm seeing truckloads of 500 miners here, 500 miners there.
Right. And for the right incentive,
here, deployed.
To secure the network. Right. To secure the network, to do these things. Hopefully we're going to talk more about it. We got a way to maybe empower one lucky person to kind of do the same exact thing. But that's the point, is there's a leadership model of empowerment. I like leaders who come to you and instead of telling you do this, actually pick your head about it. What do you think about this? That's an interesting question, especially when you're a curious person, because it makes you race. It makes you start to figure shit out. And then that person, that leadership position, kind of just has to sit back and make sure that you're not running off like with your thought process, that you're more focused. And that's how the best things get created. This is a public forum. My man's dropping something else. I don't need to look at the competition or anything, Compass related, because it's always going to be us, our model, what you can do to help us. Mine from home. We're going to give you this FAQ that teaches you how to mine from home, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're on your own there. It's a disaster, in my opinion. Am I glad that I'm hashing? Sure. But it wasn't a gift. I paid to be hashing.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? Like, this is still in my control, in my possession. So hopefully more competition comes up. I'm sure they will. But Jack bringing that up, I don't really have much to say about it besides Jack is doing the right thing.
Yeah.
In the background, is he doing some weird shit? I don't know. But I think asking these questions and getting people to at least think about these things starts businesses, starts opportunities, and also his companies as well, right?
Yeah.
Like gives his guys the ideas. And who knows if one of the engineers in Square doesn't come out and say, hey, I'm leaving Square, but good news, it's because I'm doing this now. Right? So Jack is empowering just by asking questions. He's not pushing his money around. He's not flaunting Twitter in your face. And it sounds like a fanboy, sure, but I think I'm more of a fan of the thought process.
Oh no, I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
because I'm not a fan of Jack, but I respect what he's doing. Yeah, and I think it's futuristic, and I think it's necessary.
I don't know if this is going to be a
long one,
a hot take or anything like this, and people are going to call me out on my bullshit because I can't dox the resources I got this from.
Yeah.
I heard more than one time that Jack Mallers is just an excellent marketer who steals a lot of ideas from people.
It's Elon Musk.
Does that make it good though?
Listen, you can be.
People are gonna hate me, man.
You could be marketable.
I like to hit everything, man.
You could be very marketable, and then you could just have that team around you. I mean, in this case, you can steal from that team, or you can collaborate with that team, but you're just like the wingman. So, like when we think about Elon, it's dude's going to Mars. Dude has Tesla. Tesla's going crazy. Tesla roofing. Like all these great things are associated with him, but if he's doing dirt behind the scenes to get that, it's like, oh, that's trash.
Yeah, and it's hard to know at what point it's just inspiration, because I do believe inspiration is a big thing. So I guess you got to be in the room. Yeah, right? You got to understand what's going on. And I didn't bring that up to shame anything, but I was surprised at how often I heard it. And I was surprised from the sources I heard it from, which is another double dot there. But also, this person was telling me that as of a few years ago, people were talking about what's that word he uses? Railways all the time, and people were doing the whole remittance thing years ago. And that's his big thing, is the remittance.
He just took it and marketed it better.
Bingo.
He's a marketing guy.
That takes a big thing too. But this goes back to we got to be careful who it is that we're like
Yeah.
Because we may not like the person who they end up to be. Or we may not like that person when we sit in a room with them.
I have no heroes, man.
Yeah.
I have no heroes.
And I don't want to hate, but I did hear that. And it did hit me.
That's trash, though. I'd feel that kind of way, too.
Yeah, I do feel a little bit let down. But I don't know if it's true. Let's just go with that, whatever. Sticking on the mining, the Navajo people.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, Compass dropped a video where they had Navajo tribe folks.
Navajo Nation.
Navajo Nation folks on there. And they're talking about, listen, the government's always done us wrong, so we're starting to stack Bitcoin because it's immutable.
Yeah,
and you can't take it from me.
I like this quote here. The Navajo Nation is one of the most visible representations of living in a split monetary system.
Crazy.
One with access to American capital, but lack of form or control over capital deployment. This is just a good example, whether you believe the struggles of the Navajo people, whether you believe the struggles of any other culture or whatever. There's struggles that are happening, and they've been happening for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just a beautiful example of that Bitcoin freedom, right? Of being able to say,
Bitcoin
you know what?
Empowerment.
All those structures you set up were very good at suppressing people and doing what it's doing to this country. But what y'all didn't account for was this thing right here. Another proof of that. I don't like
Turkish
Bitcoin
Lira?
Magazine as a source. I actually think Bitcoin Magazine's a little shitcoinery. Just saying.
Seems like it.
I'm saying a lot of stuff people gonna hate me for, but I'm just saying how I feel. But yes, this is a Bitcoin Magazine article. I put they actually have like a link to a deeper article about it. I don't know much about it, but what stuck out to me is that we always have this like debate of like, when people are complaining, as some people like to say, or pointing out ways that society has left them out. Sometimes it boils down to that conversation of you're just playing victim, and sometimes it's legit like, they're really being suppressed as people. Mm-hmm. That's very hard to decipher. But in this situation right here is, you're right, y'all been getting, suppressed for so long. What are you gonna do about it? Because you can play victim, and then you could expect me to fold my whole life to you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could do something clever as hell like this and show me that you've been suppressed and now you found a way out.
Yeah.
Right? And that doesn't mean that I need it specifically told to me, but I think that solves a lot of problems. Are you just being a victim, or are you actually doing stuff about that? Mm-hmm. Right? Super cool how you can, everything evil is the dollar tied to the dollar. Super cool how we can say, well, our people have been, have had land taken from them for years, have had like literally been wiped out and pretty close to genocided over and over in history. Ha suckers. Mm-hmm. We've been able to take it back. And now we're actually ahead of you, if that makes any sense, because now legislation has to follow these people. So super interesting. Shout out to the Navajo people.
I mean, on that same note, like, they're disadvantaged because they're in that situation. The Turkish Lira drops 10%.
Yep.
And banks shut down, and people don't know how their market's going to open. And it's like, whoa, that's a big deal.
That's a scary thing. So, yeah.
Something like that happens in like Canada or the United States, bro. It's a global scare.
It is, and I joke about this, but I don't joke about this. I mean, I saw a CNN like screenshot earlier where they were basically saying that to kind of do better with inflation, you shouldn't buy a turkey. Soybeans. Well, the soybean, but like it literally said,
don't buy a turkey.
Think about not getting a turkey. Why? That's the whole point.
Yeah.
So I guess if you have Bitcoin, you'll be showing up with the turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's just one of those things. Mm-hmm. They're going to continue to tell you, like you said, they're going to tell you to eat mush because it's cheaper to produce mush, right? And then if you keep eating mush and it's cheap, then you're going to be like, well, inflation's not a real thing because I'm getting mad mush. I say, well, wait a minute. A year ago, you weren't eating mush.
Yeah.
You were eating like real meat and like...
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah.
I hope we don't see it. There's some revolution with U.S.
I just hope
farmers.
More people listen.
Yeah,
that's it. Like if we see it, it's inevitable. We're gonna see it.
Yeah.
Listen, people. Like there's things going on that you may want to just try to tiptoe around. That's one of them. But go ahead.
Yeah, no. I've seen U.S. farmers like form their own coalitions. Like, no, we're gonna do our own thing. We're gonna be our own provider.
Yeah.
We're gonna combat this whole thing. So.
But so many are just not. And then fiat is always an incentive for a lot of people, a lot of farmers, right? People don't think about that. Farmers get fiat incentivized to do nasty stuff, pesticides. There's certain things just to scale the mush. But if the news is now, first of all, why is the news giving me like get together information? Like, why are you even talking about my dinner? I don't recall that ever being a thing. But now, not only are you telling me what to eat, you're just suggesting stuff that just doesn't even match. I saw another headline. I don't think it was here. It was probably across seas. But there was a headline that was on the front cover that was like, "Oh, boosters are going to save Christmas."
Yeah,
Come on, y'all. Like it's embarrassing now. It's not even like. Anyways, that's a whole different thing. But this is that type of thing where we just need to get a dose of this, because when we get a dose of this, when we get a dose of how we can escape that, shit just becomes better. Shit just becomes easier. And I guarantee you, everybody will show up with a fucking turkey and a Bitcoin stand.
Yeah.
You're not going to be eating soybeans.
Yeah.
Soybeans?
Yeah. Get out of here, bro. I don't even want to eat. I'm going to just drink some water.
I'm not even going to show up. Fam, if you invite me to Thanksgiving, this is for all y'all. If you invite me to Thanksgiving and there's no turkey, I don't care if you like oven it, like whatever it is, broth it up. Listen, fam, there has to be protein on this table.
Yeah.
If I show up and you got soybeans instead of stuffing, we may not be hanging out much longer. It's just weird. It's just weird that the news would be telling you that stuff. But the news is saying a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
I got another example here of Bitcoin's growth and maturity. It took 20 years for 1.8 million Salvadorians to get bank accounts. It took 20 days for 3 million Salvadorians to get a Bitcoin wallet.
Wow.
That's huge.
That's insane.
That's scalability.
Yeah.
For those that say that 10-minute block intervals is a bottleneck. Interesting. That's the thing that people don't forget, that these problems have solutions and people work on those solutions constantly. But that's another great example, another good one to have there. I did want to talk about Taproot briefly. We are going on an hour. I've heard a lot of smart people talk about it over the past week. It's not going to happen anytime soon. Taproot is live. Update your nodes if you haven't updated your nodes already, so you can receive addresses. I believe Cash App is going live December 1st. I believe there's a bunch of different things. What I mean is that a lot of this still has to do with wallet manufacturers, wallet developers. Just think about all the sats that you stacked up to this point. You want to make sure that your wallet developer can cross-compatible that without fucking up your stack. That's a really big thing, and it gets a lot more technical than that. But the gist that I got over and over again is it's not going to be easy or anytime soon for wallets to be able to be updated. I don't know how long SegWit took to become native SegWit to roll out, but I think there was a big gap for that to happen.
Yeah.
So I think Taproot is on that, and I don't know the complexities of it, but I hear Lightning is going to need to soft fork, really, really make a change in order to get all channels to get it to go to Taproot.
Yeah.
Or basically, you would just have to undo your previous channels or keep them. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about channels in the Lightning Network. You could just do whatever you want. It's an agreement between you and the other party, not the network. So you're gonna have to redo all your old channels into new Taproot channels, or just have this world where you have some typical Lightning channels and some Taproot channels, from now on type deal. As OCD as node managers are, I doubt they're gonna want to do all that.
Yeah.
Unless it becomes easier as a click of a button. Lightning's early. I know we see it doing a lot of things. It works. I mean, I've used it from time to time, often sometimes. But I don't think people really understand how much work is left to be done on that. On Lightning. And then now that Taproot's in there, for us to get all these security improvements, these transactional fee improvements. I also found out this awesome thing where it's you could do what they call a MuSig, which is a multi-sig for Taproot, right? But I don't know how you could do this because it kind of takes away. What was cool to me about it is y'all could combine all keys to make one master key that can then unlock the thing. And I'm the fact that you could get 3 keys and turn it into one, first of all, is nuts. But I guess the point is in Taproot hence the roots is you just need to have proof of anything underneath that main private key in order to do certain actions on the network. That's a very kindergarten explanation of it. What I was listening to was mind blowing, but it's gonna take some change for us to see all that stuff.
Yeah, someone in my Facebook group was talking about NFTs, and he was saying, I posted a meme of Alex Jones, and Alex Jones is hey, the elite don't want you to know, but you can save NFTs for free. I got 430 of them, and it turned into this whole NFT discussion. And one of the dudes had mentioned that you can have basically multiple keys with multiple assets, and when they combine, it then creates the full NFT. Almost like if there were 3 layers of something, and then when you put the key in, it gives you 3 layers over one, which I thought was a cool idea. Kind of sounds like the same thing.
Sure.
Which is
it true, though?
Yeah, I don't know. On that end, on the Bitcoin end, that's what I'm thinking about.
I still have, and excuse me, I'm not in the Ethereum threads or any other type of. I still have yet for somebody to explain to me how an NFT does not live on the server.
That same discussion I've been having.
That seems like a basic one. Like, so you can't, like, they could say like on Bitcoin, like when you embed messages, like the op return, right, inside of a block and things like that, like all this stuff, like they could easily, and this is probably the answer, and I haven't heard it. They could easily just say, hey, listen, the op return hash code that you put into that block, that's your NFT. When you bring it back to a hash converter, it turns it into the NFT. So it's something like that. Yeah. But I still haven't even heard that.
The conversation I had with you early on was like, imagine Jay-Z made his first album an NFT. And in that NFT, it's a 1 of 1. You get the original raw recordings. And then they're going to prove somehow that the originals were deleted and never duplicated. You know what I mean? Like, it had to be something like that, where like you're showing full proof of ownership, and it's being handed to me physically, but digitally in that sense.
See, in that example, I think we would have to like track it from its creation all the way to its ownership, right? Like that's what makes Bitcoin so powerful. We know where the purse is. We know how many get mined how many get released with the blocks. We know the schedule. We know this thing. Like in that example right there is how do we know we're getting the real raws?
Right. So, dudes were saying that like theoretically, I could set up an NFT on like 10 different sites.
Yeah.
And say it's a 1 of 1.
I don't know.
Give it different names.
So it's not 1 of 1, right?
That's my point.
Want to talk about them assholes, man.
That was my original conversation with this. Is like, is it really the master? Is it really a 1 of 1? I mean, they have other ones that are like they're doing a lot of collections.
It's impossible to be 1 of 1 if I could screen cap it.
Well, I just mean even before that. Like, does the owner still have the master? And then how can we prove that he didn't sell it elsewhere? That's my beef with it. Is it a cool idea? Sure. Let's see how it plays out. But
there's cool ideas and then there's worthless ideas.
Yeah.
Like why are not us, I guess, or not? Why are people spending so much time working on NFTs? Right. Like, how many of those people are wasting their time? How many know that they're gonna rug pull? How many know all this stuff?
Yeah.
But like the basic question on like, how Bitcoin masters, hard money or sound money, like NFT have to master what collectibles solve for people.
Right.
If this is still a debate, you have not mastered that. And I don't know off the head what the principles of a collectible is. I'm assuming it's rare, limited quantity. But if this is still a conversation, y'all haven't figured it out. And my thing with the pictures and stuff like that, maybe the album has a deeper conversation and raw files have a deeper conversation. But like when y'all doing like these images and stuff, if I take a picture of it, it's no longer unique.
Yeah.
You can tell me that it's not the original one. That's a different argument. Oh, no. He could have a screen cap, but he doesn't have the hash code that's fine. But then it really takes away the stunningness of it, right? Like if there was 10 Mona Lisas, I don't think it would have the impact of this one Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that thing.
Here, I'll give you a case in point. There's a painting downtown of a couple with their forehead to forehead. And it looks amazing.
Yep.
And then there's some 3D goggles there. When you put the 3D goggles on, it unlocks a whole new site.
Crazy.
So how do they do that where like if I save it, that's cool. I only have this, but when you view it on your NFT authenticator screen in person, it's a whole different image.
And why is that valuable?
Yeah,
because if you can solve that, cool. I'm sure you can. Why is that important to me?
Right.
I don't know. And listen, maybe I'm not an art collector. See, I think NFT solved the problems of art collectors, but they didn't solve the problem of collectibles. Right? So like, it's digital art shopping. Right?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to the museums. They fixed all that. But when I take home the frame, right? When I take home that painting and they send it to my crib, there's a lot of reasons why I can verify that this is the only one.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you're up in my crib, you're not going to be able to do the 3D thing or do all that stuff, right? Y'all didn't solve that problem digitally. Not that I know of, at least.
Right.
And I think if they did, they would have made a hard argument. And, Bitcoin is maturing, and maybe Bitcoin does a version of what an NFT might be. I don't think it will. But you get my point. If the technology was sound and it actually made a lot of sense and you were addressing a problem, more sovereign, I would say, developers would take that challenge on to try to make this a thing.
Yeah.
But if you can see anybody who's serious understand that it's a joke and that they're missing a key component, which is this isn't unique.
Right.
It isn't special. It doesn't do anything for me. And I don't know why I would want to keep this for 20 years and give it to my kids to do all that stuff.
Right.
Maybe I'm early. Maybe with Metaverse and all that other crap.
Yeah.
maybe it makes more sense in that universe because it's like, oh, well, I gave my kid a mansion online, and he can now bring you digitally.
My buddy has virtual real estate.
Yeah, you told me that before.
You know what I mean? Like,
how is that valuable? Like, I'm not. Did your buddy pay for that? I hope he didn't pay for that.
Yeah.
So what is this? Like a bragging right thing?
Well,
we talked about
this. So you can pull up Worcester, right? So I pulled up Worcester and I'm looking at Worcester. I'm like, all right, where would I buy? And I was like, all right, I'd buy Polar Park. Boom. What else? That was the first that came to my mind. What's the most valuable real estate here? Kelly Square, right? And someone already owned it. And so, like, if I wanted to buy it, I can make them an offer right there on the spot. But there is no exchange. Like, you can't just hit sell unless you have an offer.
This is like, wow, like World of Warcraft.
It's World of Warcraft with money.
But like, why? I mean, there was a lot of money being exchanged in World of Warcraft. People were trading weapons and stuff. But my thing is like, why? Like, I mean, is it like a stamp collection? Like,
I don't know. Their name goes on it. Their photos there. So when you hit Polar Park, you could see, like, if I owned it, you'd see my face on my and whatever name.
And what scale? What does this app do? Like,
nothing, bro. Nothing. You just log into a website and you say I own Polar Park in VR or whatever.
When NFTs mastered that, people love to spend money.
Yeah.
People just spend money on stupid shit. I don't understand it. I'm also the guy that doesn't buy sneakers, and I've said that before. I'm not that guy. So maybe I'm just missing a key component here. But I'm also a very curious guy. And the fact that I don't even want to bother, that says a lot to me. Because we talked about it earlier. We were interested when we first heard. That was one of those things. And then you can see drastically.
Let's talk about NFTs. So Giovanni drew something months ago.
Yep.
It's like Moon, Buzz Lightyear, Bitcoin's going to the moon, whatever.
Yep.
And I took that and I kind of like illustrated that. And then I made it a GIF where it flashes so the background changes color. I got an OpenSea account set up. I went to list it and it said the gas fee was going to be $250 to get started. So I'm like, all right, I mean, I created that, but if I had to have an artist create that would have been like $250. So I would have been in at like $500 just off an idea. And then what happens if it never sells? Even if I do it myself, I'm still in on that gas fee. Like, does that gas fee come back, or is that just the cost to get started? And so what people were saying was use other exchanges, but I'm just like, this is dumb. This is dumb, bro.
I don't get it. And then you would need, in order to sell it and sell it for something reasonable, then they would need to know what it means to you, right? They would need to know the clout, right? That's your son, and that he is one of one, and that he created it. Like, most people don't know about that stuff, so they're not gonna buy it.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of crazy stuff that sells, bro.
Gas fees
for a lot.
Gas fees itself is just nuts to me.
Yeah.
I had an article pulled up here that I can't look, but it was one of those, like, somebody just moved $800 million and paid 50 cents.
Yeah.
And so y'all want me to shift my focus to NFTs, and I haven't even figured out the fee system yet.
The gas system, the fee system.
Ultrasound money. I don't even know what that means. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know a lot of people joke about it because if somebody said it, or what does that mean? To me, it just sounds stupid, is what it does. Is that what it's supposed to mean? Or is it that they're really serious and they think it's like some type of dope money that they call ultrasound? That sounds dumb.
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, because at first I was like, oh, these are Bitcoiners just making fun of it, calling it ultrasound money. But now I'm like, the more is like, nah, somebody on that end actually was like, we're competing with y'all because we got ultrasound money. And I'm like, all right, so you got like sound money, hard money, and then y'all got ultrasound money. This sounds weak to me. It sounds punile to me. But
so also, I saw a post that had someone who works for or is on the board of the World Economic Forum.
Yep.
Is on the board of Ethereum.
Bunch of clowns.
And I'm like, bro, I'm good with this.
Now they got they got the Pelosi blueprint.
Literally.
Oh, y'all just got to go out and get some Bitcoin. None of this stuff is priced in. Clownery is not priced in.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of the Bitcoiners that I've been working on this knew it would work. I don't think they expected the world to be so clownery right now.
Mm-hmm.
And which I was saying earlier, I think adds to the reason why people start looking for hard money, right?
Yeah.
Because the clownery is just so apparent, right? It's so in your face that it's, sometimes I find myself laughing at things that are not supposed to be funny. But like, we come from a time where it's like very calculated, very meticulous. Like, you heard rumors of like old timers telling you like, oh, they're fucking you and all that. But like in your head, you're like, they're nice businessmen. They're cool. But it's like, yeah, we got people out here that are just straight like dumb running shit. It's very interesting. And I think it just helps Bitcoin, but Bitcoin never cares.
Yeah.
Bitcoin don't care about what's happening. It just works because it works. And the free market always navigates to the safety net, right? To what works. So it's just interesting to me. Number go up,
Yeah.
Everybody, if you're listening, I reached out to a few people that I have been talking to recently, actually for a long time now, that haven't been stacking, right, because they're still on the fence. And I put my double down orange pill on them.
Yeah.
It's ramping up. It's getting big. None of the stuff is priced in. None of the big dogs are actually playing ball. But there's a lot of people playing ball. And then if these things, it just takes one of these projects to go kaboom. And what I mean by projects is Bitcoin City.
Right.
For one of these betas to actually go into production. Anybody who does software understand what that means. Go from beta to production. Once something goes into production, the dominoes will collapse. And I know if you listen to this podcast or listen to a lot of Bitcoiners, it always seems like they, yeah, hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait. Well, that's because none of us know what the fuck is going to happen.
Right.
But, you know, if you see all the signs and you put the puzzle pieces together, it doesn't take a genius to see these guys are falling on their face. And since society is dependent on those guys and has been built around those guys, well, guess what happens to society when those guys fall on their face? We look like the dumbest motherfuckers in the block. And when I say we, I say the United States. I genuinely think, for the first time in my life, because I never care, and I still don't, we are the dumbest motherfuckers on the block.
Yeah.
Not personally, not individually. I would actually make a strong argument that because the listeners of this show and you and I are Bitcoiners, we're like that 6% of people that actually are awake. But as a country, as what we've allowed to happen, as where we stand, and as what I see every single day, it's a mockery. It's a mockery. It doesn't make us look well at all. And we're not the only ones that inhabit this planet. Americans, you may forget that. This shit is real and it's fucking weird. Go to the safety net, because I've met a lot of different Bitcoiners, and it's sort of like the gun community. It's sort of like these small communities. Everybody gets along.
Yeah.
Everybody gets along. And that's what's going to get us through the hard stuff, is cohesiveness, is going back to being human beings and dropping all that bullshit, labels along with it, that this damn fiat has done to this world. All those labels that people spent all last year fighting for and have for since 60s and segregation and all this stuff, all those are fiat incentive labels.
Yeah.
We got to get to a world where that's a thing, and you'll see things will start to clear up. They're not going to clear up if this fiat continues to reign supreme. Because the only reason dodos are out there being leaders is because money put them there. Or money took them out of there. Or money, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's always a money thing. It's not a skill thing.
Yeah. When I was watching Narcos, they just took out an oncoming president. Because he, you know what I mean? Like he was like a Kennedy, like going in. And it's like, that's how this thing works.
It's a fiat thing. And it's a power trip thing.
Keep cycling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they keep it in play, man. Because if they keep it in play, then they can continue to pull the strings. But it's just another thing, though. You call it revelation, you could call it the Matrix. It's like sometimes it's so obvious that like now that even the people that wouldn't be looking are looking, and it's like, all right, like because it's just obnoxious. I don't know who leads the darker figures or the government or the lizard people. I don't know none of that shit. But I tell you what, whoever's in charge, y'all fucking up y'all game, because it's very obvious. It's very disgusting. Clean yourselves up. If you're gonna try to like kill us slowly or stab us in the back, be a little more professional about it. Be a little bit more slick about it. Right now, it's just guns blazing. Like we're just gonna be fools, and they either like it or we'll force them to. You know they got gulags in Australia. Did you hear that shit?
Yeah,
That's
I saw
insane.
that. I posted about it on Facebook. No one touched it. I bet you Facebook probably doesn't even show it to people.
Probably shadow banned it. Yeah, for
probably.
sure. Yeah, but even at that, people are just in denial, man. They just don't want to admit that there's weird shit going on. And I always lean on the fact that like try that, right? Like we got guns.
The army is coming to pick them up, and people.
They made it nice though. You hear how they made it sound,
bro?
If you're vaccinated, we're gonna separate you from like the other.
Bro,
you're getting picked up to go to the gulag. Is what's about to happen.
They said they're picking you up, and they're picking up people that are close to you.
Yeah, come on, man. Like, but once again, like I don't know what the laws are in Australia, but
they lost their guns.
Right. What do you got to like? What stops them from doing that,
bro? If when we had the conversation, I'd be 3D printing.
Yeah.
Since last year.
Yeah, no, that's like, and maybe some of them are, but not enough of them are. Right? Like it's just one of those things. And I don't. It's always been weird over there, anyways. Historically, like I don't know much about Australia, but I know there's been a lot of conflict between the UK and ownership. Right, like that's always just been a weird area. But yeah, no, it's weird. I was talking to a gentleman from I think northeast of UK, so all that's batched up, but that area, and he was just telling me like, yo, you have to pay the BCC, which is Parliament, right? Mm-hmm. You have to pay the BCC a yearly fee to watch television.
Crazy.
I was like, we were drinking, so I was like, can you rewind that? Like, what did you just say? And I'm like, well, you pay like the cable subscription. He's like, no, you got to pay on top of that. So you got to pay your cable subscription, and then you pay them yearly to be broadcast television. So you can stream Netflix, you can do these things, but if you want to watch regular broadcast television, you got to pay them. And then the funny thing is, he's like, they actually send a dude to your house. Like if you didn't pay the TV to like fearmonger you into like, you can't watch television now. And then he's a funny dude, but he's like, he doesn't have a gun. He doesn't have like, what do you do? Get away from my properties. What it's about to happen, But it's just that idea of like how Americans sit here and like I said a little while ago, just forget this picture of like,
tyranny.
Maybe we're not free, right? Because that's a very broad statement. But like when you hear those things, it's like, damn, are we complainers, right? Like, damn, are we taking this thing for granted? That's probably not going to exist for whatever reasons. But yeah, man, to watch, think about that. Like you have to pay to watch for your kids to watch television, and I don't just mean the cable subscription or whatever we pay. On top of that, you got to ask permission for your household to get television. Mm-hmm. If you're not talking about media programming 101 there, like I got to ask you to watch television. Never mind whatever you're putting in that television or supporting.
They were at people's doors because they were posting things on Facebook. They were like, this is your name? This is your Facebook post? Bro.
But they don't have guns. I go back to that. And this person told me that the only way you can have a gun is if it's a like an antique. So it's like,
count me out, fam.
If grandpa got you like a rifle that shoots fire dust.
I'm 3D printing.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and probably that's why it's big over there and those things happen. But it's just I don't want to get too far away from Bitcoin.
Yeah,
but it's that scenario where it's like
climate.
I think Adam Back said it or whatever. He's like it. Do we want it to be Bitcoin or whatever? Something along those lines. It's arbitrary. It doesn't have to be Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. It just is. That's the difference there is that it is solving all these problems. It is fixing all these things. And it doesn't have to be Bitcoin. It's just what Bitcoin stands for that allows us to be able to escape some arbitrage like that. Like, my man, that's not a big deal, but it just shows to me the lockdownness of things. Like, it's something so dumb. Like, what? Like, I could be paying y'all to give me some like health insurance. I don't know what the hell I could be paying for. But the last thing I'm expecting to do is pay you for permission to watch television. Mm-hmm. That's very strange to me.
Yeah.
But I'm American.
Yeah, they had some of the strictest curfews and weird stuff. Like you're going for a walk, but the helicopter's pulling up on you on a spotlight. Like, my man, you're too far from your house. Like, what?
Yeah, word. And I'm going to pull up this 1920s rifle here to try to defend myself.
Count me out.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think if you, I think they also like, you got to quarantine when you come back in. And if they catch you out and about, I think they like bring you back home and charge you. It was like the equivalent of like $500, but it's like,
crazy.
What's happening here?
Yeah.
But people live there and they live there willingly, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing about human beings too, and why I like to leave human beings alone for the most part, because it's like, hey man, some people love that stuff. Like some people feel safe in that environment.
Govern me harder, daddy.
Huh? Yeah, for sure.
The cartoons, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Legit.
But what are you gonna do? You got to let people do what they do.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're stacking Bitcoin, but if you guys are orange pilling, anybody, family member, Thanksgiving is the perfect time to orange pill even further. But really, really lean into like in my example that I gave, I was orange pilling these people last November. So now my argument is very simple. How have things changed for you in a year?
Yeah.
If you're saying it didn't, there's probably no reason to try to save you, because at that point, you're off the deep edge. But most people are going to be like, oh shit, well, this is wrong and this is wrong. And then the fun fact, most of those things are solved by Bitcoin.
Right.
Or being in possession of Bitcoin.
I mean, the conversation I had earlier with a teenager was like, hey, do you know last year Bitcoin was $4,000?
Yeah.
Within the last 18 months. And like, what is the price now?
Yeah.
68,000, right? Is where we're topping out at, 69.
I want to go back to 17.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I know that sounds nuts.
Yeah, I posted a screenshot, 0.20 for $1,000.
Beautiful.
Give me 100 of those, bro.
I go back, but they
mortgage my house.
This is just being Bitcoiners. Most people are like, "You crazy? I bought it at 60." I got it.
Yeah.
But once you have it, it's yours. That's the beautiful part about it. But great episode, man.
Yes, sir.
We got an hour and 22. Gave you guys a little extra because we've been a little bit behind. We plan on picking these up. We plan on blowing you other podcasters out the water because we already have. I've noticed the trend, man. I keep telling you this. Like this is. I kind of pay attention to certain things maybe more than I should. Yeah. But to me, it's like, y'all weren't doing that before Ben and Jose came around. Y'all got this little sauce now. Y'all got this little idea stuff. So I see y'all. Kudos. Competition is competition, but we're going to smoke all y'all. The conversation's always great here.
Yeah.
The realness is always here. We plebs at heart here. and the quality is just top notch.
Yes, sir,
if I were to say so myself. So we appreciate you guys as always. Check us out on YouTube. Videos get posted there in high quality. You can hit the bell there, the button there, all those little bells and whistles to subscribe, to get notified. That's how you'll be able to catch these episodes before sometimes we even post them. If you follow us on any other podcast platform, we appreciate the love. You can also subscribe there. Leave us a comment. That helps gets us up. All your favorite podcast platforms. And if you want to be a little future thinking, you might want to dust off that Node there, dust off that Mun wallet, that Breeze wallet, and stream us some sats. Fountain app is a really good way to check us out. They've been doing a few promotions lately where they give like 2,000 sats to first-time users. That's a perfect opportunity to get 2,000 sats for going on to a cool service and then showing us some love and let us know how you really feel about it. You guys can check us out everywhere. Thank you, sir.
Good to go, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Catch you guys next week. Later.
All the opinions expressed by Jose and Ben or any of the guests on this show are solely their opinion and their opinion alone. Their opinions do not reflect the opinions of any of the sponsors or other parties involved in the recording of this show. Do not treat any opinion expressed by Jose and Ben as a specific endorsement to make a particular investment or follow a particular strategy. Their expressions of their opinion on this show is purely for informational purposes.